for the inviting me as a guest lecturer for today. So it gives me an immense pleasure to present the how extended reality is impacting the industries, that is mainly manufacturing and process industry. So before going into this topic and the seminar, I would like to have this session as more like a kind of a discussion oriented rather than a seminar way. So both of us can learn a lot of things and create a lot of ideas, which will help you in the future. Okay, so I will be just start presenting the presentation. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, visible, Paul.
Yeah. So in this, I splitted this whole seminar into 4 groups. First, we understand what is extended reality, and we understand what are different kinds of extended reality, and what are the applications in the industries where it is used. And at the third step, we will be looking into how manufacturing and process industries use XR. So I will be showcasing you a lot of projects in which our company has done for the industries. So these are like real life projects which is still happening in the industries. And at the end, we will see how to start a career in XR and how our E&I is helping us to grow in this field. So moving forward, so let us start with extended reality. So everyone says metaverse, meta, and XR. So what all these, like what is it basically? So it is called as immersive technology that combines a real and virtual world. Okay. So for example, imagine yourself sitting in a room and opposite there are like 3D models of your lab, that is transducers, RTDs, and everything is there, and you can interact with those kind of things. So these are called as immersive technologies. Okay. So this immersive technology is divided broadly into 3 types. So one is augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. So in this section, we will be seeing what is augmented reality and a use case of an augmented reality, and what is VR and use case of VR, and same for the mixed reality. Any doubts as for now? Okay.
You can continue.
Yeah. So what is augmented reality? In a simple word, we can divide the augmented reality into 2 parts. One is augment, okay, and another one is reality, which is equal to we are adding an imaginary objects to a real world. Okay, so when you see this image in it, we have an electrical motor in which there are a lot of wire connections connected to a transducer. Now a user can see what are the different sensors, what are the different by using a tablet. So these are the computer generated graphics that is allowing us to understand more about the instrument, more about the missions, right? So this imaginary object, that is computer generated object, that is augmented, that is added to the real world scenarios, and thus we can visualize it for more information. This is called augmented reality. Okay, so we will be seeing one more example of it. So this example is for aircraft maintenance. So we are going to see how augmented reality is used in aircraft maintenance.
We do the best for our loyal customers. Additionally, the implementation of augmented reality is for training purposes. It enables the task guidance for novice technicians in real-world environments. It helps us to make learning processes easier as it is based on an interactive experience. Wow, AR makes things easier. Augmented reality for training enhances the user's ability to understand the tool mechanism based on the maintenance manual. Practice makes perfect. The basic of practice built by fast adaptation of exponential learning. Industrial Revolution 4.0 changes our way of working. We are continuously striving for greatness in operational excellence. GMF 4.0, the art of perfection.
So in this video, we can see that the user, that is the engineers, use augmented reality to understand the instrument, how the instrument is used, how the sensor is used, and we have such a manual. So to direct it, what is the range of the sensors, what is the serial number, and you can see they are interacting with a tablet and they are interacting by pressing the buttons on the tablet. Okay, so this is called augmented reality. Anyone has any doubts over it? Can we move forward? Okay.
Reserve political.
So now we are coming to the virtual reality. Okay. So in this virtual reality, it means imagine yourself inside a game. Whatever the things you are seeing, whatever the things you are experiencing, okay, it's a virtual world. It is a completely computer generated world in which all the objects you see are 3D modeled. Nothing is real. You cannot interact with anything as a real. So this way we can help in analyze industries training and purposes. Let us see one example of it.
At Linden, we are on the lookout for innovations that can help our customers in new and often unexpected ways. Imagine if you could walk around and train in facilities long before they were physically built. Linden is currently working on virtual reality training that can revolutionize how we educate and train operators. In these digital twin environments, we can ensure that your people know how to navigate the space, understand where the right components are located, measuring the distance between objects, and even learn to use some critical equipment. Together with its partners, Linden is reimagining operator training, enabling teams to navigate the same virtual environment from different locations around the world.
Yeah. So in virtual reality, so in a simpler term, if you have studied power plant instrumentation, okay, so we will be, there are a lot of instruments and we will be studying about how a boiler works. What are the different kinds of boiler? Imagine yourself, instead of reading from a book, you are inside the machine, inside 3D world, okay, where you can experience how the cooler tank is working, how the turbine is rotating, how the windmill is working. Okay, so everything you are learning by a virtual reality. So that is called as virtual. That is everything you are seeing through it is an imaginary world in which you feel as if like you are inside the world. So that is called as virtual reality. Now, the next one is a very interesting topic, which is called as mixed reality. Okay, so it is a combination of virtual objects in the reality, and we can interact with those objects. So if you see in the AR, there's like a 3D objects where you interact through a screen. In VR, you cannot see the real world. You can only see the imaginary world, and you are interacting with those objects. When it comes to mixed reality, it is a combination of both. You have a 3D model or a 3D equipment in the reality, and you interact with it using your hands. So that is called as virtual reality.
Engineering belongs to the real world, and we are the ones shaping it. We are pioneers, bringing engineering to the next level. Create, visualize, and manipulate your 3D models. Analyze and discuss virtual designs. Evaluate concepts months earlier. United across time and distance, collaboration becomes stronger. Merge virtual designs with real components in real environments. Plan installations with reference to reality, faster and more secure. Let's reach the next level and design our future. AR engineering, the better engineering.
Okay, so in a simpler word, to classify three of the things, AR means when you are in a real life and you can see virtual objects, that is a computer generated object inserted in the real life. Okay, that is called as AR. If you see the VR, you are inserted into a real life. That is as if you are inside the game, you are inside the computer, and you experience everything in a 3D. That is called a VR. A mixed reality is in the sense the objects are in a 3D world where you interact everything, where you can interact with a 3D object. Okay, so when you compare this with all our subjects, okay, in a simpler terms, if you're studying power plant instrumentation and you feel as if you're inside the power plant and you visualize all the process that is happening, that is called as VR. Okay, so if you're studying about the transducer engineering, for example, RTD, some sensors, and you see how the RTD works and what is the range between it, you see all the graphs in your tablet, that is augmented reality. Okay, so when you come to motor design or control theory or some sub-subjects in which you design the transducers or you design things in the virtual, that is with the 3D by using your hands, it is called as extended reality. So do you have any doubts over here? Can we move on to the next topic? Okay, great. So now we come to a point to just generalize the applications of XR. So XR means it comprises, when I say XR, it all includes augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. Now, first thing what we are going to see is how industrial manufacturing is using the XR. So there are three major user cases where the XR is used in industrial manufacturing. The first one is guided training and remote support. So for example, if you are finishing your college and getting into an industry, it doesn't know how the industry standards are working. So what we can do is, as a solution maker of XR, we develop you a lesson plan in which you experience everything in a 3D and you work with it to understand how the instrument works. So that comes under industrial and manufacturing. Improved safety. You cannot stimulate a safety. For example, if there is a car elevator, there is some process in which you have to go through to operate the car elevator. Okay, we cannot make you experience how a car elevator crash may happen or how in a real world. So now here comes the XR, that is extended reality, where we can use these animation, these 3D models, help you to understand what happens if you miss some point. So that comes under in the improved safety. A real-time factory diagnostic is like the complete integration of IoT, that is Internet of Things, with the augmented reality and virtual reality. So we combine both of it to acquire the industrial parameters. For example, if you have a power plant, we have several thermometers, that is RTDs, several flow meters inside it. So you are in a control room and you want to visualize everything that is happening. So what you do is you use AR and you have the model of the plant. These sensors sends the data to the cloud, and this software fetches the data from the cloud and help you to visualize these data. So that way it will improve your efficiency. It will also understand, it will also help you to understand how a plant is working. So this is how it is used in industrial and manufacturing. So in a healthcare, in a simpler way, if a surgeon is doing a surgery, he want to understand your scans, he can do use AR to visualize your body structure, to visualize your bone structure. And in case in some of the very highly reputed hospitals uses the augmented reality to practice the surgeons. So at the end, I will also show one of the interesting video where the surgeons are using augmented reality to perform the operations and to perform, and you can also even simulate. So for example, if you are studying biomedical engineering, you will also know about ECGs, EEGs, pacemakers. So using VR, you can also visualize how this pacemaker works, how this ECG works. So everything you can do it. That where the healthcare. So education, we all know we have a lot of engineering subjects which can be easily be understood if we have a 3D model and you keep interacting with it. So there comes the industries. Military, I will show one more interesting video where our company was working with defense. So in military, these AR VR glasses are used as a night vision glass and also to detect whether there is enemies, there is landmines, or else to have an instruction overlay without any voices and commands. So that way in military, it is very useful in the AR. So there are some other like retail, marketing. So in the way of marketing, if you can see, there is a lens card which enables you to visualize the frames. Whatever the frames you are selecting, you can visualize using the AR app from the lens card. So there comes the retail and marketing. So moving on to the next. So how XR manufacturing and process industry. So virtual reality is completely used in mission training, safety training, workflow simulation. And in AR and MR is used for R&D, remote support and marketing. So in this space, I will be showing some of the interesting projects we have done with different companies that will enable you to understand how this XR is used in real industry. So let me share my screen. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So some of the customers, some of the companies I'm saying where our company works. So you can see all the major brands like Hyundai, Nissan, Dalmir, Siemens, so Yokohama, IKEA, Tata Steel. These are all the companies that is using the VR now. Okay, you can also see Indian Army. Okay, there are some airport authority. Okay, so if you have visited Tamil Nadu, like Chennai airport, you can see an XR center to understand the tourist places. So it is all built by XR labs where you can visualize different spaces. So you can also, we have also working with IIT Madras, University of Madras for setting up the labs and the XR labs for them. So these are different companies that has been invested in doing the XR. So let me show you some videos which helps you to understand how XR is used. So we all know this turbine company, right? So this turbine company, Gamesa, wants us to use visually train this people to work on this high-rise windmills. So we have created a windmill stimulator which enables the user to see it. Let us see the video. Yes. So now we see, like we all know the power plants. So Kudam Kulam wants us to have a VR project, that is an AR project, in which they can visualize the plant structures and everything. So this is one of the project for them. So using AR in a nuclear power plant for the visualization. So we have a map over here. So when we use our tablet, okay, and we visualize the complete AR. So we also even like so you can understand like different parts of the different parts of the plant where the plant is. So in a higher level, when I say industry 4.0, this is what industry 4.0 is. We have a lot of 3D models which can also use this to integrate and send the data also here. So we can see different parts of the plants. So I can move around. So now you can see how the reactor sees inside. So we have, if you have studied it, you know that there will be a turbines, there will be two nuclear reactor, which has nucleus, and we have all the rods. So we also have a work demo. So how the circulation pipes are going, how the heat transfer is happening. So the turbine, all the stuff you can visualize in the VR, sorry, AR. You can also see how the water from the fish, water is like took and how the it is preventing the fishes and everything. Almost all the things you can learn from the AR. So moving to the next thing, I will show you one of the. So we know about Siemens, right? So they have something called reactive power. So they wanted to us to show the how cooling system works. So this is a table in which we have an AR where they can experience and visualize how the things work. So we have two versions. One is a cardboard version and AR version. So you can see how we can learn about different parts and from this also. So we have all the liquid coolings and everything. So I'll show you one other good. So if you have seen assembly line, for example, Hyundai or other companies assembly line, so this is how the VR setups looks like. Okay, and this is so called as the VR headsets, where they use the headsets to see how the VR like VR to get immersed into VR. So now coming back to the slides. Okay. So now you understand how the AR and VR are used in the industries and how this is impacting the industry and manufacturing. One, it takes very less cost for the initial setup. Second thing is you can expand your softwares and hardwares for elongated processors. Third thing is it helps you to understand in a better way than using the physical, than like using the VR. So how the process happens is the trainers and other will use the XVR to understand the process. Next, they will go into physical world to experience the real life situations. So now I'm throwing a question to you all. So we all have gone through E&I subjects and E&I. Which subject do you think can help full by using which technology? We have three technology, and what technology we can use to understand the subject in a better way?
Can you please repeat, Surya?
Yeah. So we have a lot of subjects. Okay. So we have gone through a lot of subjects. Now I'm asking which technology can be used to make those subjects understand in an easier way.
Students, any idea?
Okay, in a simpler question, I will speak in Tamil also. எந்த சப்ஜெக்ட்டுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி ஏஆர் விஆர்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணி படிச்சா நமக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்கும்?
Yeah, Sabari.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Transducers engineering, அப்புறம் electronic devices அந்த சப்ஜெக்ட்லாம் இந்த மாதிரி படிச்சா ஈஸியா இருக்கும் சார்.
So okay, transducer engineeringல எந்த சென்சார் உங்களுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி ஈஸி படிச்சா ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்?
ரெசிஸ்டிவ் சென்சார்ஸ், கெபாசிட்டிவ் சென்சார்ஸ் அதோட ஒர்க்கிங்லாம் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி பார்த்தா இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியா அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆகும் சார்.
இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியா அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆகும். ஓகே, ஃபைன்.
எஸ்.
Great. So moving on to next stage. Okay. Now I study electronic instrumentation and you are showing something very different called XR. So how this electronic instrumentation engineering is going to help me in the field of an XR? First and foremost thing is you cannot build a great building with a weak foundation. I would say everyone to be thorough with your foundation, whatever the subjects you're studying. Example, if you take transducer engineering or if you take renewable EVS, even EVS is helping me a lot nowadays. So now E&I helps to understand how machines, sensors, transducer and process works, how this is behaving. For example, as Sabari said, we have like resistive sensors. So now using the resistive sensor, it has certain processes. For example, if you want to control a heater, okay, so what happens, like you have a RTD inside, you have a controller outside. So now you're going to stimulate the heating process of a water, okay, of a boiler. Now you understand that when it goes at a certain temperature, the RTD will give us a feedback, which triggers the electric circuit, that is the heater, to switch it off. This you have studied using electronics and instrumentation in the transducer engineering. Okay, now you come to the XR. Now since you know how the RTD works and how this whole concept works, it is just an implementation process where you are going to implement how this is going to be working. So now you understand how the instruments work and you understand how the process happen. Now it's just a matter of time and piece of cake in which you model and develop the XR. Okay, so how many of you wanted to wanted to have a career in XR?
Yeah, students, please raise your hand.
Okay, moving on. Next. So what are the different careers in XR? So there are like XR developer, experience designer, XR solution architect, XR research engineer, and the industry 4.0 consultant. So these are several roles that is available in XR, and using our background as an engineering, so these helps us to understand in a better way. So now I understand that this is helping me to do this. These are the careers I have. Then I learn transducer engineering every subjects in the E&I. Now what else I need to learn? So there are one programming language called C#, and there is a software called Unity, which help us to build this XR. So this way we can be excelling in both as an engineering aspect, both as an and a developer, that is the solution architect. So why to have an career in XR? Like there are a lot of engineering. Why? What is the benefit of having? You can see the market size from 2019 to 2020 itself very large. So if you take off a 10-year, less than a 10-year, there is like 64.5% increase. So in which we say that, so now you know that like Facebook has changed its name to Meta, which is telling that we are going into a metaverse. That is a 3D situation. Now you learn the skills, since you have the engineering background and you learn the skills, it will help you to excel in the market. So you can more both, like you can learn more, you can innovate more, and it's very challenging and it is very fun also. Okay, imagine yourself in which you daily do these processes like developing, testing, and then visualizing how this is happening. Actually you are going changing a person's life in behind, making them to understand how all the XR and other all the instruments work. Okay, so any questions?
Students, do you have any questions?
We can open the question to everyone. If professors like teachers have the doubt, we can ask. We can proceed to that.
Kavin Bharati. Kavin. Yeah. Do you have any doubt, Kavin?
Ma'am?
Yes. Have you enjoyed the session?
No, ma'am. Ma'am?
Yes, yes. Doubts follow. Okay.
Okay.
You can ask in Tamil also. You can take me as just a senior, just who's just passed out. Okay, and you can have a lot of questions, like a normal question not related to XR. You can ask any questions regarding the careers, regarding your interest also.
So students, it is right time to connect with our alumnus. So he will guide you in all aspects. So if you have any doubts, please ask him about studies or career opportunities.
சார்
Yeah, Sabari.
சார் இப்போ இன்ஜினியரிங் ஃபீல்ட்லேருந்து இந்த எக்ஸ்ஆர் ஃபீல்டுக்கு இப்போ போகணும்னா அதுக்கு தனியாக வேறு ஏதாவது கோர்ஸ் மாதிரி படிக்கணுமா சார்?
It's not required for you to learn. Like there are some programming languages you need to learn. YouTubeல நிறைய videos இருக்கு. அதுவும் இல்லாம if you using Coursera, there is a course called Extended Reality for All. So it is a free of cost. You can just go through it. There are a lot of YouTube tutorials and websites which can teach you from the foundation. And the C# or language இருக்கு. And there is some other or a software or a programming software window மாதிரி இருக்கு that is called Unity. So which year are you?
செகண்ட் இயர் சார்.
Okay, then it is a good time to start, I would say. So நீ காலேஜ் விட்டு வெளியில வரதுக்கு you have 2 more years. So you take this as a first thing. Okay, நான் இந்த XR field தான் போறேன் அப்படின்னு you can take it. You can start studying C#. It will take you 6 months to learn. ஓகே 6 மந்த்ஸ்ன்றது நான் ரொம்ப நம்ம காலேஜ்ல அதிக ஒர்க் கொடுத்து நான் டெய்லியும் ஒரு 1 வீக்குக்கு ஒரு 4 ஹார்ஸ் தான் என்னால எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்னு பண்ணாலுமே it will take almost like 6 months to finish it. After that you take up the Unity. So C# is a programming language. Unity is a window. So it's like a programming place. நம்ம எப்படி சிக்கு வந்து சி டர்போ யூஸ் பண்றோமோ அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம XR டெவலப்மெண்ட்க்கு அந்த யூனிட்டி எடுப்போம். So we can use that. It will take another 6 months. So in a 1 year, you will be well versed with this Unity engine as well as C#. So in third year, you try applying in many companies as in like an intern. So when you go as an intern, you will understand how the development process happens and you will get access to all these devices. So in the VR devices. So after that, it's just a piece of cake. நீ intern பண்றதுல they will hire you. When you see in a market growth, when you see as a now ஒரு hiring manager, if I see, I have a huge demand for the XR developer. அதுவும் நான் வந்து E&I படிச்சிருக்கேன், எனக்கு engineering background இருக்குன்னா it has a very huge demand over it.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
Yeah, thank you Sabari.
Anyone else? See, he was also one of the members of robotic club.
Oh, yeah, I was there when it started. I was there when it started.
Yes, yes. So if you have any doubts regarding the robotics also, you can ask him. So I will share his contact details, okay? So later on also you can contact him and then clear your doubts.
So there are 2 ways, easy ways to get in touch with me. One is my email ID, jayasurya.2402@gmail.com. The second thing is if you go to Google and just type my name, you will get my LinkedIn profile. So you can just connect with me through LinkedIn and you can just chat it. I will clear all your doubts.
Thank you, Jayasurya. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you, Jayasurya, for your nice presentation on augmented reality. It seems like very real to see your virtual reality projects. You explored well with many video clips. It was much informative. Thank you for your presence, Surya. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I also thank every teachers who was like teaching me, guiding me through all the way of my 4 years. Now I'm in a very better place now, in a good company, in a startup where I'm implementing all the knowledge that I got through the studying E&I. It will starts from my first subject as a, like a transducer engineering, power plant instrumentation. From those subjects, it gives me a lot of knowledge which I'm applying now, and that is gaining me a lot of momentum in my life. And I thank each and every teacher who was always there supporting me through my all the process. It comes from the teaching, competitions, and everything. Thank you all, ma'am.